Welcome to the Daily AI Updates podcast. I'm Laura, and alongside my co-host Mike, we're here to bring you the latest in AI developments and keep you up to speed on all things artificial intelligence. Ever feel like you're drowning in information? Like you're constantly bombarded with articles and research papers and
You just need someone to distill it all down to the good stuff.
exactly. And especially with AI, right? Things are moving so fast, it's hard to keep up.
That's what we're looking at today. Some of the latest developments in AI, the tools themselves, and the companies that are trying to bring them to the masses, for better or worse.
And we've got some interesting stories to dive into, so let's not waste any time. Like, this NotebookLM thing just blew my mind when I read about it.
Oh yeah, NotebookLM. Powerful idea for sure.
You're telling me, it's like, imagine you're researching a new topic, right? And you've got notes and articles scattered everywhere, and then boom, this AI swoops in and turns it all into a personalized podcast.
It's more than just organizing information, though. It's about making it digestible,
Yeah.
right? Turning all that raw data into something you can actually learn from and use.
And the fact that it can create an AI-hosted podcast from your notes, that's insane. Think about students, researchers, anyone who has to process a ton of information.
It could be huge. Really speaks to the challenge of information overload we're facing these days, doesn't it? It's not just about access anymore. It's about making information actionable.
Totally. Okay, but speaking of big players in the AI game, we got to talk about OpenAI.
Ah, yes, OpenAI.
Yeah.
Making headlines, as always.
Yeah, and not just for the tech itself this time, right? Leadership shakeups, moving to for-profit, massive funding rounds,
It definitely raises some eyebrows.
to say the least. So, like, what's the deal? What's going on over there?
Well, on one hand, you have their language model, which is considered one of the most powerful out there.
They've heard that. Something about billions of parameters trained on this massive data set.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that allows it to do some pretty impressive stuff, generate realistic text, translate languages, even write different kinds of creative content. They're about to launch a video model, too.
No way.
Oh, yeah. But on the other hand, you have this shift towards profitability, which has some people concerned. Will it be driven by profit or the public good?
Right, because the potential for misuse is there, right? Like any powerful technology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And OpenAI's choices will have ripple effects throughout the entire field.
It's a lot of power concentrated in one company. And speaking of, one of their execs even said, AGI isn't here yet, but you can feel it. Chills, right?
It's definitely a statement that underscores the pace of development. Artificial general intelligence, that's the big one. AI reaching human-level thinking.
Which, let's be honest, is a little bit terrifying, right? I mean, exciting, but also kind of terrifying.
It's a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah.
The potential benefits are enormous, but so are the risks. It raises fundamental questions about ethics, control, the very nature of intelligence.
And who gets to decide how it's used, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the really big picture stuff, but what about AI in our daily lives? Like, are there actually useful AI gadgets out there yet?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There's certainly no shortage of hype.
Tell me about it. Which is why this whole Rabbit R1 thing is so interesting. It's this AI-powered gadget supposed to be a game changer, but it's not really gaining traction. Only like 5,000 daily users or something.
Yeah, the R1 highlights the gap between hype and actual adoption. For AI gadgets to be successful, they need to offer seamless integration, solve real-world problems, and appeal to a large audience. Whether the R1 can pivot and achieve that remains to be seen.
It's a good reminder that cool tech doesn't always equal a successful product.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it begs the question, are we even ready for widespread AI gadget adoption? Or is it just too early to tell?
I guess time will tell. But it makes you think, right? Like, with all this talk about AI, it ultimately comes down to how well it serves our needs.
Exactly. And as we become increasingly reliant on these technologies, we have to ask ourselves, what role do we want AI to play in our future? Are we comfortable being passive users, or do we want to be actively involved in shaping how this technology evolves?
It's a big question, but one worth thinking about for sure.
Absolutely. This is just the beginning.
From AI assistants that help us learn to powerful language models that could reshape our world, the future of AI is unfolding right now, and it's up to all of us to decide what that future will look like.